So Pikmin 4 came out, and I mean, it's a good game, but I want to play as Chad Olimar. Not these virgin pussies who have a dog and 80 different Pikmin types. It started to look like the Pokédex of the Onion. Olimar is badass. Not only did he live with just 3 Pikmin types, but he didn't even know what the fuck they were. He wrote the playbook on Pikmin. Straight up. Honestly, Olimar is so badass, I don't even think he needs Pikmin. I mean, have you played Smash before? Dude has got some hands. This got me thinking. Could you beat the first Pikmin game without even using Pikmin? Well, obviously not. You can't pick up the ship parts by yourself. But what if when Olimar landed on PNF 404, it turns out that the Pikmin were pacifists? So, could you beat Pikmin without using the Pikmin to fight? And before you say anything, I have a Pikmin tattoo, so I am the authority and God King. And I say, perchance. So let's start this crazy journey of pacifist Pikmin. For those of you who have not played Pikmin 1, you have 30 days to collect 30 ship parts in order to get home. However, only 25 parts are needed to win. You just need all 30 for the best ending. Sadly, these 5 parts are specific parts. I don't get to choose which 5 I don't get, so, that doesn't help me at all. And just so we're all clear on the rules here, all enemies will be killed by Olimar, and I will not be taking the corpses for Pikmin seeds because that doesn't seem to be very pacifist to me. So I'm purely killing to make space for Pikmin to bring back ship parts. So let's just get into it, where our journey starts with a tragedy. Part 1, Main Engine. This makes ship go vroom. Kinda lucky it was right next to the crash. I mean, if you're asking me, kinda convenient, alright? After crash landing in some shithole, I don't know, looks like Jackson, Mississippi, if I had to guess, I found an onion-looking thing that spit out a seed. Then my hunter-gatherer instincts kicked in and I yanked it out. And that's when I saw him. The cutest guy I've ever seen. Pitch black eyes with a beak-like nose and red 40 skin. My ideal husband. I shall name him Frank. I immediately decided Frank doesn't fulfill my sexual needs. So I start farming up even more Franks until I have enough to push this, Amazon Prime box out of the way. And that's when I see the first part, the main engine. I'll let the Franks bring that back to my ship while I farm up for even more Franks, practicing the art of Dandori, a very necessary skill if I ever want to make it out of Jackson, Mississippi alive. Anyways, this first part is a gimme. No time limit, no enemies, so let's just move on to the newly opened area and start this challenge for real. Part 2, Eternal Fuel Dynamo. Despite it appearing to be just 2 D batteries glued together, this is an unlimited energy source. Right off the bat, I have the Franks destroy this bone wall. I don't think the wall is actually made out of bones, pretty sure it's made out of wood, but when I was a kid I just thought they were bones for some reason, and that's just never left my brain. After taking forever to finish, the exact reason why I need more Franks, I decided to do a little recon, and that's when I saw the first enemies, and the first epic battle began. Easy, dude. Now, you might have blinked and missed it, but while I was fighting for my life, we discovered the second part. However, I need a lot of Franks for this one, so I collect some Frank seeds nearby, and once I have enough, it's Franken time, baby. Now, while the Franks take the fuel dynamo to the ship, I decide it's time to fight the big one. At this point, I knew I could kill the dwarf Bulborbs, but the big ones were kinda up in the air, so depending on how this fight goes, it could make or break this video. Ah! I bathe in the blood of my enemies! So it looks like I might actually be able to beat this challenge. It just takes a minute to kill these things. Now, before we can work on getting the next part, I'm reminded of something. Holy shit, I can get the yellow Pikmin. I break down this wall and kill another baby, and that's when I see him. Jesus Christ, those ears. Broken here by future conversations. Kind of reminds me of like the E-boy prosthetic elf ear look, so I'll name him something like Clyde. I don't know. I then start to breed more Clydes, as you do, and it took me so long to kill that Bulborb that time is running out. So I need to hurry and make sure the Franks don't go extinct. That was scary. Part 3, Whimsical Radar. Can detect the location of other missing parts. Having this part definitely means it's not their first crash. It's a new day, and I immediately start to grind me up some Clydes because I kind of need them. For some reason, Clyde can pick up bombs, and that's needed to break down stone walls. So I do just that. And I go to war. I put my life on the line for this Pikmin shit. It's serious. Anyways, the whimsical radar is right there, so I get it, and escort Clyde and Frank back to the ship with it, because why not? You don't like going on long walks with your 2 husbands and their tens of clothes? But while escorting them, their dumbasses ran straight into the ass of the sleeping Bulborb. So I tried desperately to distract it, and he took some Pikmin off the Whimsical radar, but not enough for them to not be able to carry it back. And while I successfully distracted the Bulborb, he then ran towards the herd of Franks I left behind, and man, was it a slaughter. But we got the part, so they died for a cause, at least. I then spent the rest of the day blowing up and knocking down some walls, as well as killing off some babies here and there. Part 4. Extraordinary Bolt. Just a really cool looking bolt. Extraordinary even. With the start of day 4, I go around finishing the walls I was destroying. Behind one is the next part, the Extraordinary Bolt, and I decided that the sleeping Bulborb next to the black bone wall needed to be taken care of, for the safety of my Pikmin. With half the day gone, I finally feel safe enough to bring the Extraordinary Bolt back to the ship, and I start working on building this bridge. Once the Pikmin have brought the bolt back, it's time to get an actually challenging part, as so far, it's been child's play. Part 5. Sagittarius. A gift from Olimar's son. That's it. I don't know why this is needed to get home. Now, the only available part to me is the Nova Blaster. However, this one's not necessary to beat the game, and my Pikmin are pacifists, so they won't pick this part up, as it's a fucking gun. This brings our progress to a screeching halt, as I need blue Pikmin in order to get any other part in this area, but I need 5 parts to unlock the next area where you acquire blue Pikmin. So you can kind of see my dilemma here. Thankfully, it's possible to get every part in this area without blue Pikmin. You just gotta cheese the game a little. And Clyde's not just yellow. He's uncircumcised too, so he knows a thing or two about cheese. I decided since I already had completed the first half of the bridge, I'd go after the Sagittarius. Now normally you would use blue Pikmin to walk in the water in order to get to the other bridge and build it to make a path for the part, but since we don't have them, it's time for Clyde to cheese it. Now since Clydes are skinny little e-boys who only drink 0 sugar monsters for their daily calorie intake, we were able to hurl them much higher and farther than any other Pikmin. So basically I have to get a running start and chuck Clyde towards the little lip over here, then dash over there, desperately call the drowning Clydes towards me before he perishes. You can imagine many lives were lost, and I might have resetted the day, but we did it, girls, boys, and non-binary hoes. We had made contact with the Sagittarius. Unfortunately, it took me way too long in the day to finish the bridge, and we just barely ran out of time, leaving the part centimeters from the ship. It's fine though, the Pikmin have a very strict bedtime. I don't want them to be all fussy in the morning, so I unfortunately wasted a day to get the part, so they enter the new area, and things are about to get hot. Part 6. Automatic gear. Basically, this is just power steering for the ship, and I guess there's a lot of dirt in it now. It's a new area, so you know what that means. It's Franken time, baby. I get a bunch of Franks to pound the bone wall, as you do, and while they do that, I make my way to the third and final Pikmin type. Oh, now he's a little cutie. And he's got a mouth, so I can finally talk to someone here. Let's call him Fiddlebert. I don't know. While harvesting more Fiddlebert seed, the nasty bread bug decides he wanted some for himself and got dragged into the onion and died. I know what you're thinking. And no, the Fiddleberts did not kill him. It was suicide. He dropped the space float for the ship, but it's not a necessary part, so I kind of just leave it there. So his suicide was pointless. After getting a decent amount of Fiddleberts, I walk back to the ship and notice the automatic gear. So I chuck Fiddleberts on this pile of sticks so they can make their own little bridge to it and grab the part. While this is happening, I continue my Dandori skills and start building bridges with Franks and breaking down walls with Clydes. I see another part, but it's underwater, so I have to wait for Fiddleberts to finish what they're doing. Back to my Clyde mission of getting bombs for the stone walls. I have to do this thing where I throw them up on ledges, then run around, grab them so their dumbasses don't drown. While this happens, we get the automatic gear, the first part of the forest navel. Now let's get that other part I saw. Part 7. Number 1 Ionium Jet. Very stinky, but brings you to escape velocity instantly, so that's hype. With the automatic gear in my ship, I just go ahead and get the Fiddleberts on the Ionium Jet trade, cause duh. Then I have the Franks build the second bridge to the beach, while I fight off the flamethrower anteater thing. I don't know what it is, but they're called blowhogs, so go off, I guess. I then get the number 1 Ionium Jet, and man, I'm feeling very proud of my Dandori skills at this point. I mean, 2 parts in 1 day, and I'm expanding the available areas like I'm fucking Lewis and Clark in this bitch. Man, I sure hope nothing bad happens anytime soon. Let's just start some recon for the next part. Part 8. Gravity Jumper. A spring that can manipulate the forces of gravity. Somehow. And lets you go super light speed. Whatever that is. Moving down the beach a little, I see a giant-ass spring and a bridge leading up to it. Unfortunately, Franks are too beefy for me to throw up there, so I put them back in their cramped onion and get my tweaked Clydes out so they can get this bridge built. While that's being done, I do some more recon and I punch this mushroom thing a few times because I can, but I run out of time for the day and we'll have to get the gravity jumper tomorrow. Unfortunately, I lost 2 men that night, but still a very good and productive day. I set my sights immediately on the gravity jumper as soon as I touch down the next day. I take Franks out to get it because they are immune to fire and the blowhogs can't do shit. I mean, I don't want a Clyde genocide to happen. So while the Franks take that back, I do more recon and see a black bone wall and have the remaining Franks pound that shit down. Their immunity to fire really comes in handy in this area. Part 9. Libra. A gift from Olimar's daughter. Is this really needed to get home? You would rather not have this part and never see your kids again? Okay. At this point, my Fiddlebird army is too small. I'm going to need a lot of Fiddlebirds as they're the only ones able to access many parts of this game. So I begin to farm for his seed. After I feel as though a sufficient amount of Fiddlebirds have been created, I grab some Clydes and join the Franks at the now destroyed Blackbone Wall and begin the Libra mission. This mission is dangerous. I have to dodge fire geysers and build a massive bridge over nothing. I use Clydes to reach up to the part and have Fiddlebirds make me a water geyser to join them. Now, at this point, there's a very infamous glitch where after the Pikmin fall off the ledge with the part, they kind of just fly away, and that messes some things up. Thankfully, Clyde is very gentle with his hands, so the part is still in the stratosphere. Unfortunately, though, we ran out of time, so no double parts back to back. My Dandori skills are just not there yet. Part 10. Analog computer. On God, I have no idea what this does. New day. Grab me some Franks and Fiddlebirds, have the Franks take the Libra back, and have the Fiddlebirds get the analog computer out of the water. Once that's done, have the remaining Franks take that back. Genuinely, nothing can stop the Franks, so they are my delivery service in this area, like my little Ubers. While that's happening, I have Fiddlebird climb this stick up to a pool area, as it's a lot easier for me to grab them there than trying to dodge the fire gauntlet up ahead. A quick and easy part, but now it's time for a lot of setup. Part 11. Anti-dioxin filter. It's in the name, dumbass. Let's kick this off with some wall bombing. At this point, it's a daily routine. There's just something so therapeutic about me, Clyde, and a couple of bursting balls. After I'm done with that, I go to where the gravity jumper was and work on that bridge so I can have access to more balls that I can burst. The anti-dioxin filter is in the middle of the water, so it's mostly up to Fiddlebird to get it. However, the waters are infested with wollywogs, and I hate these bitches. They jump up and slam down where the Pikmin are. It's not really possible to outrun them, so I'm just gonna have to kill them all, or at least enough to make room for Fiddlebird. I hope it does not take long. After slaughtering the one on the beach, I go after the one next to the park, and I'm kind of starting to enjoy this. I'm finally getting all of my anger out caused by these stupid ass toads all these years. Wait. While that's happening, I have Fiddlebird climb this stick up to a pool area as holy shit, the day's gonna end and all of my Fiddlebirds are just chilling on the other side of the map. Glad we could finally get them. After I'm done with that, I go to where the gravity jumper was and work on that bridge. While I have to restart my fight with that Wollywog, at least I didn't lose everything I love. On the bright side, I learned I'm good at killing them now. So much so, I could take on 2 at once. Dandori. I mean, I could take on 100 daily at this point, so it's just child's play. With their whole race slaughtered, it's time to get the part, except I don't have enough Fiddlebirds, and all the seeds are gone. So I have to do the tedious thing of getting the Fiddlebirds to bring the seeds to land, then Frank's bringing it to the ship, because fire, but I have to stop them right before and have Fiddlebird finish it so they're taken to the blue onion. It's a whole thing. Anyways, do the same thing with the anti-dioxin filter as I did with the pellets. While that's happening, I go kill some shearwigs and I fucking die. So we do it again. Part 12. Omega Stabilizer. This is the ship's fin. Helps it fly straight. It is now time for our very first boss fight. I'm going to kill the Puffstool without any Pikmin, and it might take just all day. This will be a battle of the ages. My great-grandchildren will hear stories of this. They will build a statue in my honor, and he's dead. Honestly, it was probably easier to kill him without Pikmin. Yeah. So the shearwigs suck to fight, and I don't want to spend another day killing a Wollywog at this point, so I just gotta YOLO it and hope I can distract well enough to where casualties are at a minimum. It works, but I just barely ran out of time. I'm not coming back for it, though. Maybe in a week I will, but for now, let's go back to where this story all began. Part 13. Positron Generator. Another energy supply, but I guess Olimar uses it to cook his instant noodles, so pretty much just a microwave. To celebrate Frank and I's 12th day anniversary, we go back to the place we first met. Now, with our polyamorous relationship, including Clyde and Philibert, we can get the other part in this area, along with lots of seed. I mean, hey, it's our 12th day anniversary, might as well get our freak on. Now, there are 3 things in my way from getting the positron generator. This stone wall exploded, this stone guy rocked, this clam mouth fucked. Now, this is not killing, as it's still alive after taking the part out. It's just robbery, which the Pikmin are totally cool with. It's always a good idea to steal from big companies like this clam in the middle of Jackson, Mississippi. But yeah, we got the positron, we got some more seeds, we're all good. We have enough parts to go to the final area where some real fun begins. Part 14. Shock absorber. It, absorbs the shocks, makes flying smoother, just like how it would in a car, I guess. Psych! Why would I go to the new area when I have more parts available to me in the Forest of Hope? Remember that whole thing when I had to drown Clydes because I didn't have blue Pikmin? Well, now I do. So let's just finish this area up real quick. Enemies respawn after a few days or when you go to a different area, so I go to kill those babies out front again, and I make it past the little puddle to where the shock absorber is. After Fiddlebert's struggle to get to the ledge, I just YOLO it and grab the shock absorber and hope that I could distract the Bulborb well enough, and it didn't go well. So I did some insane footwork and outsmarted that bastard by going around the back. Fiddlebert's signature move. Let's just go to the next part. Part 15. Radiation Canopy. Prevents deep space radiation from giving Olimar cancer. Ooh, spooky. Skin cancer. It is finally time for Fiddlebert to pound down a bone wall. A white one and a black one. What a day. This next part is guarded by an armored beetle, and fighting it seems unnecessary when I can use the art of distraction. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'll do a little sexy dance for the beetle and have my boys sneak this out. Now, this could go horribly wrong. The armored beetle can easily wipe out all of my husbands with just a few well-placed attacks. I'm going to have to make sure I lower the possibilities for any casualties. I've already lost so much. Since Fiddlebert is so good at taking it around the back, I bring just Fiddlebert's, and man, a lot of lives were lost. Not just to the armored beetle, but also to this dumbass Bulborb. Now it's time for the final area, the distant spring. Part 16. Repair bolt. It fixes everything. Somehow. And that's a very convenient thing to have on your ship. Without wasting any time, I go right ahead and get Fiddlebert out to get the repair bolt, which is honestly a really easy part to get. It's just a little finicky is all. I think you could use Clydes here, then quickly grab them and switch out for Fiddlebert, but I don't want to risk the casualties. The whole process is just timing the disbanding of Fiddlebert's and watch them bring it back to the ship. While they're taking it back to the ship, I do a little recon and I find my next objective. I like to call this next part the battle for the bombs. I have to kill this big-ass bull bear to gain access to the splooging orbs, and I'm not positive if I could actually beat them in a day. So let's see.
A few minutes later.
Oh my fucking god. Had barely enough time. That genuinely took 6 minutes of straight bashing the A button. I did it. Part 17. Gluon drive. It is very expensive. Now that I have access to the jizzing spheres, I blow up part of the black stone wall, then take Fiddlebert on a little vacay to build both sides of this bridge. And while they do that, I fight this Wollywop, which are like 10 times worse than the Wollywogs, so wish me luck on this. Because I just don't like to waste time. I stopped the fight to switch the Fiddleberts to the other side of the bridge, but uh-oh, there is Shearwigs, so I have to fight them as well. But I ended up just saying fuck it and kill the Wollywop first. I have a lot of issues fighting the Shearwigs because they can just fly away and heal up. So I learned that the best way to kill them is to sacrifice a Fiddlebert and beat its ass while it's eating Fiddlebert's ass out. These men truly are heroes. So while they finish this bridge, I kill another Wollywop, because why not? And because I'm a dumbass, I decided to break this bone wall instead of getting that part. Dandori? I have to distract this second Wollywop while they do it, and it goes semi-successfully, but I ran out of time, unfortunately. Part 18. Zirconium rotor. I don't know, man. It's a rotor made out of non-rust material. That's all I've got. This part broke me. There is no jokes in this section, only pain and misery. I don't know why this part was so difficult to acquire, but here we are. Since it's day 16, the distance spring has changed a little bit. Some enemies have gone away, some have shown up, so I just do my thing and go kill these new babies that appear next to the bombs. After that, I do some more damage on the blackstone wall. One more day of this and it should be down. I go ahead and take Frank to bring the gluon drive back to the ship, and I make my first encounter with the swooping snitch bug. These guys just take my Franks and shove them into the ground somewhere, and I can't do anything about it. The only way to inflict damage on them is to knock them out of the air with a Pikmin, and I can't do that. so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. With Frank on the drive, I go ahead and finish what I was doing on the previous day with the bone wall. At this point, I'm really worried about time, so I'm just trying to lower how long I spend killing each enemy, especially in this area as they take a long time to kill. After getting the white bone wall down, I pivot to the black one behind me. I put the Franks away so they don't get planted, and then I do some recon, which I learned it's really easy to kill water doubles. In fact, I take 3 of them on at the same time. However, during my recon, I spent way too much time dying, and instead of healing up when I was near the ship, I go ahead and indeed die, which means I restarted that day and did everything I previously mentioned again, including getting the gluon drive, something I wouldn't have to do if I did it the day before. Womp womp. I also realized I was stupid for breaking down the black wall by the onions instead of this gray wall by all the parts I'm getting, as I need this wall gone to bring the rotor back to the ship, so yeah. Clyde suicide bombs it, you know, that happens, and the wall is short enough for me to throw him over it. Now, I'm trying to get this wall completely done in one day, so I'm attempting to get these Clydes over to the bombs that I saw while reconning. I'm just going to save you the trouble. It didn't work out, so I resetted the day again. Stitchbug blew Clyde up, just reset again. Try to do the second bomb area again, did not work. Reset. Snitchbug blew 2 Clydes up this time. Reset. So at this point, I give up on the dream of getting rid of the walls faster. So I just get the gluon drive again, break down the white bone wall again, and get the zirconium rotor out of that area it was in. And then I just start breaking down this black bone wall again, so I could feel like I'm accomplishing something. While that's happening, I go and kill some babies, and then I felt brave enough to fight the shearwings. But you know, I died, no big deal. Just lost all my fiddleberts, so I reset again. I do everything the exact same way, but I don't die this time. So I'm just gonna move on to the next section. Part 19, pilot seat. God, I wish this was my face. Oh my god, I'm so glad to be on day 17. Clyde finally finishes up the wall, and guess what, baby? I got that motherfucking zirconium rotor! God, I feel so energized for the rest of this day. I go ahead and take a bunch of Franks to where the pilot seat is, and guess what happens? Nothing. Genuinely nothing. You can watch me break the Snitchbug's fucking ankles. I guess he doesn't have legs, so I'm breaking his wrists. Anyways, we got the pilot seat, 2 parts in one day. Dandori. Part 20. Number 2, Ionium Jet. Really? This? Again? Okay, cool. I think I got all of that pain and suffering out of my system. I'm chill now, I swear. I go ahead and take some fiddleberts to get the second Ionium Jet because I need it for some reason. And then I get scared because they start walking towards 3 bull bears and where that black stone wall is I have yet to destroy. But thankfully, they pull a quick Yui, dodging this blowhog, and they go the long route back to the ship. So while I'm not getting any speedrun world records here, I'm feeling pretty good because I just got 3 parts in one day, baby. Dandori! We now officially have just 5 parts left to get. Fiddlebert can taste the sweet victory from here. Part 21. Chronos Reactor. Can warp the space-time continuum and turn it into energy? That's some Doctor Who shit. Now, this part is kinda cheeky, because it's making me do some heinous acts against God here, where I have to change Fiddleberts into Clydes, and you just don't do that. You don't make verses into twinks like that, okay? There's a line you don't cross, and damn it, I had to cross it. But this is a life or death situation, so I'll just let that slide for now. After using Clydes to get the reactor down, I changed the back to Fiddleberts, where they fucked up the U-turn. Maybe it's because they went from driving a smart car to a Raptor, but they woke up the bull bear as they veered too much and like 10 got bored. And you know what? I bet those mouthfuckers liked it too. Sadly, I ran out of time, so no 4 parts in one day. Dandori? It is fine though. I just have Frank pick it up in the morning, as usual. Look. If Fiddlebert or Clyde can't get the job done at night, I just have Frank cure my blue balls in the morning. Easy as. Part 22. Bowspirit. It's the tip of the ship, baby. Euphemism. I have a confession to make. I've lied. I've been lying to you this whole time. See, if you've played Pikmin before, then you probably knew this challenge just wasn't possible. But maybe you believed. Maybe you thought I could somehow do it, and up to this point, I mean, I've been doing it, but these last 4 parts are unfortunately impossible without getting blood on the Pikmin's tiny little hands. And I've known this for a while. Remember the Sagittarius? Well, originally I tried to get the Geiger counter first, where I discovered Olimar can't damage the Snagret holding it, and I hid that from you. I'm sorry, I I should have just ended the video there. Challenge over. I'm a failure. If only I could just use the optional parts to get home, but no. So many lives were lost trying to get me home. Frank, you bastard. Always sticking your nose into other people's business. Fiddlebert, who would just never shut up. Like, dude, ask me about my day. You're not the only one who had something happen at work. And Clyde, such a good listener, but man, can he only receive. I mean, Frank's got a great nose, and Fiddlebert's tongue game is crazy, but Clyde? You just toss him around and that's it. But I love them. They were such great husbands. So many of them died fighting to get me home, and I failed them. I guess this is where the video ends. Challenge over. I failed. Subscribe, I guess. Probably shouldn't though, because I'm just a fucking failure. You know what? Yes, mistakes were made, but as long as you realize your mistakes, it's possible to make it right again. And as long as your vision is clear, you'll see the bright future ahead. You see, if I die and just leave the Pikmin here alone, they will not survive without me. Frank, Fiddlebert, Clyde, they're all just pussies without me. I must teach them to kill for self-defense. They must avenge their fallen. I will kill the enemies necessary to stay alive. That is the only way. I will no longer kill the weak and defenseless, but I will get rid of the ones who have harmed me, Frank, Clyde, and Fiddlebert. I will get out of Jackson, Mississippi if it's the last thing I do. So the previous day, I got everything set up to get to the armored beetle. And while last time I was able to sneak past it, I have to face it head on this time. And Frank, due to his fiery butt, it's your turn to shine. After it poops out the bowsprit, I decide to leave its remains there. Let its body nourish the nature around it. After it gets back to the ship, I have one more little bitch to kill in this area. Part 23. Interstellar Radio. It's a radio, but for, outer space. Now, the blowhog next to the onions have been kind of a pain in the ass. However, it doesn't have the part that we need. The one in the middle of the ocean does, so we'll just take out our anger on that one. Fiddlebert, you're up, buddy. Besides having to do some distractions, it was a pretty easy part to get, and I'm officially done with the Distant Spring. Just 2 more parts to go. Part 24. Guard Satellite. Protects the ships from oncoming attacks. Except for that asteroid in the beginning. Ignore that. Real quick, I officially get the Omega Stabilizer. I told you I would come back for it. And then I have Frank's break down this black bone wall and have Clyde's blow up this stone wall, giving me access to the next arena. And also, yes, I did kill some Shearwigs, but fuck those guys. They have actually killed me multiple times. They deserve it just as much as these other guys, okay? But now, it's Clyde's time to shine. Never underestimate the power of a twink. Because there are fire geysers in the way, I do have Frank take the satellite back, so now I just have one more part. Let's do this shit. Part 25. Geiger counter. Olimar does not know what this shit is, but it like measures radiation levels, I guess. Grabbed some Franks and Filberts and did a lot of not killing babies as I sneaked past everything. I had Filbert move this box for me, and sure, some Franks drowned, but you know, that happens. Direct your anger at the Snagrid, okay? Now, there's multiple of these Snagrids, but I'm a gamer, okay? Remember the Pikmin tattoo? I know it's been like 30 minutes or something, but still, I know the one closest to the edge has a part. And man, easy ass fight. I won't lie. Having all these Bulborms still alive meant lots of Pikmin lost their lives just getting this part back, and it was hard to distract them without having any casualties. Step into my shoes, okay? It was hard. It's fine. We're chilling. We've officially gotten every part we need to make it out of Jackson, Mississippi. Part 26. Nova Blaster. Pew pew. How come it did that thing where I introduced another part? I'm done. I finished. I got all the parts I needed to win. Okay, I mean, is only day 21, and I don't leave till the 30th day, so I might as well try to get the rest of the parts. Fuck it, let's do it. Now, the Nova Blaster is pretty easy to get. I just have to do the whole distraction thing, but at this point, I'm a master at it, so it's really no trouble at all. Just a few soldiers lost. Since there is a snitch bug in this area now, I spent the rest of the day collecting the Pikmin that were buried, as I'm never returning this area again, and being stuck underground for an eternity sounds like hell. Part 27. Space Float. Helps us swim in space. It's finally time to get the space float, which was left by the bread bug after it committed suicide. I decided since the posies had regrown, I'd collect some more seeds to replenish my army of husbands, as a lot have died, unfortunately. Once I collected them all and the Pikmin had matured, I make my way back to the distant sprig. Part 28. UV lamp. Helps Olimar tan. So yeah, I finally finished blowing up this blackstone wall and make my way up to the UV lamp. Now this is a solo Clyde mission, one that looks a lot harder than it actually is. There's this whole path to take, but you don't have to do it. I get the part with no trouble, and it kind of pisses me off. This area with the 3 bull bears and 9 dwarf bull bears always gave me so much trouble when I played this game normally, but I never actually had to deal with it, like, at all. Sure, going this route is a lot quicker than going the long way like all my Pikmin did before, but this wasn't necessary. I never had to actually fight these things. I don't know. It just makes me upset knowing how much time, anger, and tears I shed fighting these bull bears, but whatever. I don't care. What's done is done. Part 29. Massage machine. It's a massager. I got nothing else to add. This video is almost over anyways, who cares? So I take some filberts and I build this bridge. I end up having to kill some shearwigs because if I don't, they will destroy this bridge. And I was ready to fight off this bull bear, but we kind of just walk right past it. No trouble at all. Man, this challenge has made me realize that this area is not as hard as I once thought it was. Anyway, I take on 3 bitches at once per the usual, and I get the last part I need before unlocking
the final trial.
Part 30. Piggy bank. Money! Money, 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 money! Money! Now this is gonna be hard. Like, really hard. This whole video has basically been leading up to this moment right here, and I'm going to need as many reinforcements as I can possibly get. So real quickly, I go back to the impact site and farm as much seed as I can. And I might as well enjoy the scenery of where my first date with Frank happened, just one last time before I leave. Alright, let's do this. Now there's not any enemies in this area besides the final boss, so if you played this game before, you know it's about to happen. But for the storyline and those who haven't played before, let's just get into it. First, I have Fiddlebird's build the 2 bridges in the middle, then I have Frank's go through the fire geysers and push the box out of the way, then I have the Clydes get the bursting balls, and I blow up the wall now accessible thanks to Fiddlebird. Now, just because I have the extra days to do this, I end up finishing the day early so I can have more time to fight the final boss. I end up taking with me an army of Frakes, as they are the most buff of the 3, the bear, if you will, but I wanted to be Franken-time one last time, as I started this whole thing with him. When I laid my eyes upon his red 40 complexion, I knew we would do good things, and look at us. Now, let's do this, my love. I actually did that shit first fucking try. I'm impressed. In this playthrough, I had more trouble with the shearwigs, for God's sakes. I'm actually almost pissed at the idea of that. Anyways, since I lost 90 Franks in that fight, I went ahead and grabbed some Clydes and Fiddlebirds just so we could bring this last part to the ship together as a family. And with that, I'm out of here. With one last look, I blast off into space, and would you look at that? They learned how to defend themselves. Or maybe not. I don't know. That bullboard was just kind of minded its business and they assaulted him. Maybe they weren't actually pacifists, and I was wrong. Oh well, I'm just glad to be out of that shithole known as Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, I was there for 26 days, and my God, there was only Sonics and Dollar Generals there. Not even a measly Taco Bell. I will literally give them every paycheck I make for 3 years if it means they'll open up a Five Guys down there. But hey, at least I'll never have to go back there again. Right? Right? Right?